They used to call me Easy D, Easy D, Easy.
Okay, well, looks like we're back.
In case you don't remember the question, because I gave you quite a bit there, I will just rephrase it in hopefully 100 words or less. The space you're in right now, what you do, is unique, as you discussed. And using the hip hop AI form that you did,
Yeah.
that seems like that's an out of the box type of venture. With how you're doing and how the your consortium is set up, do you think that just you being in this space is allowing for more out of the box thinking when it comes to coming up, knocking on your door and saying, hey, can you help a brother out?
Well, what I think is enabling innovation and creativity in the venture space and the business space just in general is the technology. It's what you can do with AI. And, you know, we talk a lot about, how to look up stuff like Chat GPT, you can look up and get information. And that's just a, to me, very small part of what AI can do. You have people that are building entire companies on capabilities that we didn't have 5 years ago. So I liken it to the advent of like ride sharing. Ride sharing started out as, a kind of interesting concept, but what made ride sharing possible, which we now know as Lyft, Uber, Wings, and others, is the advent of GPS technology that was able to locate somebody through your smartphone. The same thing is happening right now, where you have all different forms of AI from conversational AI to visual, computing to um, natural language processing, machine learning. All of that is opening the door for founders to say, hey, what can I create with this technology that we didn't have before? I think that's what's driving the innovation. Had we had this technology back when, hip hop came out 50 years ago, as we were at that symposium and learned together, who knows what we may be experiencing right now. So I think it's less about the what, whether it's hip hop or whether you're talking about, ride sharing or whether you're talking about, any particular topic. The what it's more to me about what that technology enables. Because back to this earlier example, what else did GPS location technology enable? And enabled a lot of other things.
Right.
You remember the days when we used to look at, I don't know, MapQuest before you went somewhere, you would put in a MapQuest and you'd print out your directions and like you'd go. And if the road was gone because they didn't update that, you were done, and that
Let
map.
me interrupt you. You're
Oh,
just a kid. I remember maps. So,
sorry, Atlas. Atlas when you're going,
yeah, I remember maps, going to the gas station, buying it for
yep,
a couple of
yep.
bucks. Yeah, yeah, you youngsters, you have it all
Yeah.
made. So I'm
I
sorry.
I'm
Please
sorry
continue.
for Atlas, but no. So I mean, that's the premise of your question is where's the innovation coming from? In my opinion, it's coming from two things. It's coming from the technology, and it's coming from creative founders who are experimenting with how to use the technology to create completely new businesses that we didn't have before that make our lives better.
At your event, um, as a sponsor, now I'm talking about the business side of it
Yeah.
now, this specific event,
Yeah.
how do you think it went? Um, what could you have done better?
Mm.
And did you accomplish your goals?
I love this question. So the event that you're referencing for your listeners who may not be aware, it's an event that Good Trouble Ventures co-sponsored with a 501c3 called SF Hip Hop. The whole premise of the event was to bring together a set of speakers and panels to explore the intersection of AI and music through the lens of hip hop. I was on the planning team, so I know a lot of behind the scenes. And as anybody that's ever done a production knows, it can be messy behind the scenes, and then the production may look very different. I would also say that the thing that fascinated me most was this conversation that we had to parallel hip hop that was happening in the Bay Area at the time. Of course, started out in New York and places like that, but there was a huge movement of hip hop artists here in the Bay Area, and so we were exploring what happened there at the same time what was happening in Silicon Valley, exactly the same thing, an advent of something, but that was it was a digital technology based. And so to explore how Silicon Valley became Silicon Valley, and I'm from the Bay Area, I watched Silicon Valley become what it is today. When I moved to the Bay Area in the 70s, you could literally commute from the North Bay to San Jose, you know, in 45 minutes an hour. You can't do that anymore. To explore the rise of hip hop in the Bay Area in parallel with the rise of digital technology was fascinating to me because they were almost identical, very similar. And the impact of Silicon Valley, phenomenal, right? This is a place where, companies like Google were born and Facebook and many others, phenomenal. And to explore those two industries here in the Bay Area in parallel and to make those comparisons and see what was the same, what was different, and then the outcome, that was a fascinating topic to me, and one that I think we should continue to explore. So that was a takeaway that I had. What could have gone better? I just wish more people had been there. I think by the end of it, we had a full house. Maybe we do it again. We have a bigger venue. Every single panel was fascinating. We explored ethics and AI. I love Wallonia Stature, BBL Drizzy. He created a commercial for Popeyes that was crazy, funny, and creative using AI. I don't know if you can share it later with your viewers, but
You don't make the sister. You know it, yeah. Mickey D's on me. Ho. Popeyes, y'all ain't hitting, hold that while we pushing P. Hey. Louisiana lies, that chicken ain't even me. Ain't me. McDonald's on your ass, boy, you know our fries are heat. Bow, bow. Started from the bottom, now I'm calling out the fraud. Hey. Popeyes got me feeling like I'm fighting with the Lord. Hey. Dry ass biscuits, I need water, I be choking. I heard y'all started selling liquor, anything for motion. Chicken sandwich hype, but the service is trash. Employees looking sad, watch them clock out on your ass. I'll fry your chicken, leave you crispy in the grease. One phone call to Grimace, he'll put your ass to sleep. Ay, ay, ay. You know that Rondo's on go. 40 minutes in the drive-thru, damn twin, y'all slow. We're out of chicken, how you run out of your main thing? We serving the base, cause you know that is our main thing. Post it up, Birdman hands, you know we rubbing it. Da-da-da-da-da, I'm in loving it. Da-da-da-da-da, I'm in loving it. Oh.
his whole premise was what we as the average person can do with AI is phenomenal. And to see how he created that, um, hear him talk about it and then see how he created it was the actual output was so interesting. We were exploring so many things around AI and hip hop and where those two things converged, and it could have been country, it could have been R&B, it could have been anything. What made it unique though, and then this is why I'm so glad that SF Hip Hop, really this was their brainchild. The whole concept. They came to us and said, "Hey, we want to do something like this," and then we worked together to create the programming. So they came up with it, but it was to also educate people. Like hip hop has a history here in the Bay Area. It's a rich history. And to explore that in parallel with the rise of what we know as, digital technology in Silicon Valley is a fascinating conversation. And Davey D, he blew my mind. I mean, he is a professor, right? At I think San Francisco State. But he was a part of that as a young person, personally, like, a part of the hip hop scene, and to hear him pull it together, I was just like, it was intellectual candy for me.
as I said, I walked in, I'll be honest with you, two girls talking right now. I went to go get my money from Sway. That's what started that whole thing. But I'm glad I went because it was so fascinating. And
Yeah.
now I'm going to go into the last question. What advice would you give to the 20-year-old Monica Poole?
Oh my gosh. The 20-year-old. So relationships is something I would probably emphasize as being genuine relationships and really important in business, but in life. So value that and nurture those. Um, the other thing I may say is everything has its time because I was always someone that was ready to go. Let's go. Let's go. I think I shared with you. I think I told you earlier, like if my mom, I have an older brother, he's an engineer and he's very careful, he's cautious. He was always like super duper duper smart, just it came easy to him. He didn't have to study. Very responsible and dependable. My mom said if she had had me first, she wouldn't have had any more kids. And it's just because my personality is just I'm more risk prone. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Sounds good. I mean, I don't think I was reckless, but I was definitely more willing to risk things than my brother. And as a mom, with a daughter, that didn't bode well. I have a lot of other stories. We'll need more another link to talk about that. I was always ready to go and with a strong personality and a sense of like, I want to, like, let's go take the hill. Sometimes things didn't go the way that I wanted them to go or envisioned them to go. And that's because it wasn't the right time. And maybe that person wasn't the right person to do it with. If you feel like you're pushing a boulder up the hill to either work with someone or do something, it's good to step back and say, it is okay. It may not be the right time. And we have this saying that we talk about in our venture fund among our partners, but when it starts, it's the right time. And when it ends, it's the right time. And we can have peace with that and not feel like we have to make it happen.
Well, two things I always say. One, in business, if you can't change the game, change the paradigm. But the other is everything happens when it's supposed to. And that, that's got you where you are today, where your children are, where your business is, where your passion is. Who could ask for anything more, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has definitely been true in my own life. I mean, if I think about the venture fund, we're super excited that we've now raised our $50 million. I don't think I shared that with you, but we
No.
venture fund this is our first fund, raising $50 million for our first fund, and we've done that, which is
Wow.
we're very proud of. We started fundraising in February, and so it's a tough market to raise money right now.
Mhm.
And we have found about, 8 to 9 fantastic founders that we want to invest in. And I always say for us, investing is not just, okay, we're just going to give you some money. It's really giving founders' dreams wings because a lot of people who start companies, they put their heart and soul into starting these companies. And by getting infusion of capital, it just gives them wings. They can focus on the things that really scale their business up. Super excited about that. And, people might say, wow, that was really fast. But you know what? When it starts, it's the right time. And
It's
it's
the right
time
time.
for us to deploy capital. We have people depending on us and we learn a lot from our founders as well. And we have a great partnership. We have partners across our team that are just experts in their field. And so, yeah, it's a great way to kick off the fall. I mean, I always think of the post Labor Day as the beginning of fall. And it's a great time to be leaning into, the second half of the year.
If you would like to say anything regarding your business, contact information, whatever you'd like to do, please feel free.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. As I shared, we are now deploying capital to amazing founders, and we are looking for additional founders who may have these category creating businesses in the space of tech and entertainment. And so for founders who are looking for capital, we'd love to talk to you. That's, within our thesis. You can find me on LinkedIn, Monica Poole Knox. I think if you type that in, I show up. I don't think there's any other Monica Poole Knoxes right now. Um, Or you can email us at hello@goodtrouble, all one word, no spaces, .vc.
Hello.
That should not be hard to remember. Hello.
That should not be hard to remember.
And just reference that you heard the show, and we'll be, it'll get to me with a reference, so it's not random. We'll definitely prioritize anything we see coming from the show. And
Oh, wow. Thank you. Wow. Thank you for that.
people,
I really do appreciate that. I'm sure you have more people who come than money you have to offer. So how do you determine who you choose?
oh man, that's a whole nother show as well. But I'll make it quick. Every venture fund has their own criteria around what they like to see in founders.
Mhm.
And we are very similar to that. I will tell you the first thing we look for in our founders is, well, obviously the first thing we look for is the business within our thesis, because we get pitched movie scripts and we get pitched all kinds of stuff. And we're like, actually it's tech enabled. So, that's the first thing.
Mhm.
If we do find a tech enabled entertainment company startup, there's a few things we look for. And if we're in the due diligence process with a founder and they've got to that point, we're looking for character. We have a whole set of values that we look for in our founders. As I shared earlier, finding great companies is about finding great founders. And so we want to see things like, is this founder ambitious? It's a term we use at Good Trouble Ventures. It means, are they both humble, like meaning they can learn and pivot with experiences and new information, and ambitious? Are they ready to take the hill? We're looking for founders that want to change the world. If someone's just like, oh, I can, build a business for my family, and like, no, we want you to have big goals, big dreams. So ambitious is something we look for, along with a number of other traits. We also, as I shared earlier, we look for founders that are thinking about how to create something that doesn't exist before. Think about, I'll go back to ride sharing, Uber or Lyft. They created a whole new category of transportation that didn't exist before. If you wanted to go from point A to point B, you caught a cab, or you found a van service or something like that. Airbnb is another great example we talk about, right? Is they created a whole new category. And sometimes the ideas sound crazy at first. That's how you know you're onto something. And of course, we looked at the financials. We look at the team, the leadership team, the capabilities. We like to see founders that actually come from the creative space that they're impacting. If you have a music company and you're looking at innovating and technology in music, but you don't know anything about music, you've never played an instrument, you've never worked in music, then that's a red flag for us. We love to see founders that come out of the creative spaces that they're driving to impact.
Okay, I'm glad I was able to get that question in there. I'm sure a couple of three of them are going to say, hey, I got this idea. How about making this sausage, put it in a piece of bread, throw some, I think they call it mustard on it.
Hot dog.
Yeah, it's a hot dog. Hey, you're not inventing anything new. So,
You know what? Easy D, I should have shared one other thing we're looking for is partnerships. We're big on partnerships and we do a lot of events.
mhm.
So if people want to partner and do some collaborations on different events that may happen either in LA or San Francisco, I think New York is another, is another place that does a lot of events in our space, Atlanta and Miami. We love considering partnerships with folks and doing activations.
And that is going through hello.
Goodtrouble.vc, or you can reach out, just DM me directly on LinkedIn, Monica Poole.
I'm cheap. I don't pay for LinkedIn. I get the free version. So you're probably third or fourth in LinkedIn now. If you're not shaking hands directly, they ain't finding you. So are you an easy person to find?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm pretty easy to find.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm going to put that to the test after I get off. I'm going to see
Okay.
if I can find you on LinkedIn, and then I'll do a little after. It's true, you can find her, or she's hiding. She's hiding, doggone it. I'm deleting the last 5 minutes. So
Hey, we should bet $20 on that so I can collect my 20.
oh, hey, okay, what's the bet?
I'm just saying, I know you're gonna follow up. I know you're gonna follow up on the
When you throw money on the table, homegirl, why do you think Sway's dodging me? It's like, what? Hey, man, okay, you're in New York. They have Venmo, but I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, Sway, be that way. Or we're on Zoom and it'd be, dude, you're not frozen. I see you breathe. Come on now.
That's an interesting trick. Hey, look, I do know the trick on the hello. Oh, think I lost you. Oh, sorry, bad connection.
I want to thank you. I told you I was going to learn more than I came in, and I've learned so much that I, I may be selfish and not share this.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that you came up, introduced yourself. There was a lot of people at that event, so I appreciate you doing that. And it's so great that we were able to connect after that event and carve out this time. So thank you for having me.
This has been Dan Easy Dorman. 5 easy questions. Peace.
They used to call me Easy D, Easy D, Easy